So now the floor is yours to allow them to come up with more questions. Don't hesitate to be brief. Introduce yourself, and the microphone is arriving, and indicate also to who you want to address your question. Please.
Yes, and add to Joanna's answer to you before about how the regions are affected from this blue growth. Yes, there has been a lot of transition about the idea how the sea and the resources are look like, because in this period the sea was looked like tourism and fishing, and in those years, in this period, for example, in the frame of submarine project, the sea was transmitted, yes, as not only as a waste, as those algae, for example, but as resources. And there's a lot more to do with those resources, not only to collect, for example, as Schultz-Zehden, but collect all other algae which are lying and which are look like as waste. And the second importance is to add more value for those projects, for example, for the same agar, to add more value as blue bio projects, because from agar we can produce a lot of pharmacy products, but not only as in China where it is done now, but as well in, for example, Estonia, where the scientific base is ready. And yes, question to Ms. Montesi, yes, is about pilots. How are your idea, how the funding for pilots can run to the NGOs, municipalities in next period, only via BSR program or via, I don't know, which else programs? Thank you.
Okay, I think Joanna will start, and you will start first to answer, and it will. It's your, but it was also a little for you, no?
Okay. Carlos, I answer now not in my function as the study leader, but actually as the submariner manager. And I think that's, yes, indeed. We know that it's important to move from, as also Kaiser said, to move from this basic research and development into pilot installations. I therefore also think that it's important not to look only into the Baltic Sea Region program, where I would hope that pilot investments are also possible, and that they are not only transnational investments now, but that actually also a lot could be done by sort of strengthening the capacities and the coordination in order to access the private funding, and to talk to actually get the financing institutions involved, and that they are more proactive in terms of, and I now talk about the banks, I mean, that they are more proactively looking into the right business planning, working with the people, because very often you need to have the right match. You don't need to have the innovator to be a good business person, but if you bring them with the good business person together, then something can come out of it. So perhaps, I mean, counterproductive, but I mean, not only to look at the European level, but in fact that the European level could facilitate that there's continuous support to be given to allow these kind of funding combinations to come about, so that there should be more done in terms of talking to the funding institutions, national money, regional money, but also that, you know, the bonus program, Kaiser, you mentioned, where actually also the evaluation then from these research programs is not only done by from the perspective of the professors and with the long references, but actually also having an element of what is most important from a business development point of view. So,
okay, perfect. I think that the really issue is real there. We need initiative, we need project, and we need to look for some financial support to this project. But sometimes the real problem that we have is the initiative, local or regional, to identify what could be the right pilot project. Compared to this, arriving from the financial point of view, I think that during all the day we have mentioned, okay, European funds are there. Now, the most challenge that we will have is to grasp and to use at the best use possible all these funds. But they are there. But we have not to stop to look just to the European funds. I think the private sector could have a really important role. The Nordic Investment Bank was saying to us, we have fully of potential funds to cover the Baltic and the North Sea region. There are the European Investment Bank. So look into the public funds and look also to the private sector funds. Looking now to the European funds. Okay, now the main challenge that we have, we discussed it already this morning, going to the partnership agreement. We are trying to include all the blue growth issues, so also the funds designated to the maritime economy, the maritime activities into the different national program. So we need to pursue this, but also there, after that the national authorities have included these elements, this objective, so also blue growth objective, blue growth economy there, sometimes we have the reaction, yes, but in fact we have include this activity in our objective, but we have not proposal. So I think it's really important to come to identify the good proposal from project, pilot project, and I think really the funds are there to be used in the best way. So I really call not just to look to the financial support, but look also to the key initiative that could be supported at the financial level. I hope that we are answering to your question. Any other question? Yes, please.
Thank you. Well, this won't be a question, more like an intervention on behalf of Lithuania as a presidency. Yes. My name is Agla Vishnovskita, and I'm representing Ministry of Transport and Communications. And I would like to thank you, Commission, for organizing this timely discussion on blue growth, since it's very important for maritime sector as it faces significant challenges, and it will face those challenges in the next years to come. So we really appreciate those discussions, since it allows us to minimize the adverse effects. And I would like to just to stress that Lithuania, during its presidency, has taken an approach to include into presidency agenda both ways, both initiatives. One is to increase environmental performance of maritime sector. So we had initiatives regarding CO2 emission monitoring and verification in maritime sector, as well as ratification of Hong Kong Convention. But on the other hand, we had such initiatives as which allowed us I believe in the future to minimize the possible negative impact on maritime sector, such as initiative on alternative fuels, which has been chosen as one of priorities of Lithuania during its presidency. And we appreciate the Commission efforts on this proposal. We believe that that allows Lithuania, which is quite a small country, to foster a new market in the European Union and to contribute to the growth and creation of jobs at European level. So we expect to have general approach on this initiative, and to create a way forward for the next forthcoming presidency in order to allow member states to deploy alternative fuels infrastructure in Europe. And as the other tool for blue growth, Lithuania also sees initiative presented by European Commission on maritime spatial planning, which allows to foster investments in maritime sector and maritime activities, and it allows, it ensures sustainable development of maritime sector, and we welcome this initiative, and as well as efforts of member states demonstrated during coordination examination of this proposal, which is still ongoing. So thank you very much for allowing us to contribute to blue growth at European level. Thank you. And enjoy your stay at Vilnius.
Thank you for your comments and for giving us the objective of your from data. And I hope, personally, I hope that the Maritime Special Planning proposal and directive will come to a good results before the end of the Lithuanian proposal. Okay. There are, yes, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, first of all, to the panel. Extremely interesting discussion we've had here today. My name is Geir Oddsson. I'm from the Nordic Council of Ministers, Secretariat in Copenhagen, where I'm responsible for fisheries and aquaculture. That is the blue growth side of Nordic cooperation. I've had the good fortune of working together with quite a few people here on the panel, and which we will continue. We have recently gotten the responsibility of leading horizontal action, sustainable development, and bioeconomy, the bioeconomy part of it, where we look at all the parts of the bioeconomy, of course, with me having special interest in the blue bioeconomy. My question is, we saw the main drivers, transportation, shipping, and fisheries and aquaculture. These were the main sort of drivers in the blue growth. What I was a little bit missing, what I was missing in the analysis and sort of in the discussion was the part of capture fisheries. And capture fisheries. Because
say yes more.
I think, you know, and I would like to just ask, because you talked about aquaculture and blue biotech and, you know, all of these things. But what are the innovation opportunities with capture fisheries? Are there any? Yeah. Or are capture fisheries just a problem to be solved? And I saw that was also in the bonus program. There was work to be done on stock assessment and things like that, which is looking at the base. I can give you what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the work that is being done on utilizing the resource 100%. We have examples of innovative small companies that are utilizing the resource 100%, that are increasing the value without increasing the input, without increasing the load on the resource. Mm. What are the opportunities in the Baltic Sea region to work on this?
Yeah, I think that was addressed to our study, but so, I mean, just to clarify, you're talking about fish catching, yeah? Okay. So, I mean, it was just in order to, I think we have captured it in the analysis, and it was just that when we have presented the study before, we were always asked, like, oh, you know, this fish for human consumption, it is such a big sector, how can this come about? And that's why I sort of only stressed that, you know, please understand that 70% of this economic value is actually generated by fish processing and retail, not to forget the other 30%, of course. And I think I also showed that, you know, in the current situation at the moment, there are, you know, obviously quite a number of regulatory projects ongoing which are related to this fish catch, but that indeed there's a big need for good also initiatives and projects which are driving the common fishery policy, but also driving the innovativeness in the sector, sustainable innovativeness in the sector. So to capture also the sustainable blue growth element in this sector. So I think we can only 100% agree with you. But I was asked that we should only present for 10 minutes, so therefore I had to shorten myself. It's in the study.
To completely. And you want to add something?
Yes, but can I throw a question back to you in Nordic Council of Ministers? Because I think I read you had your Nordic Council meetings 2 weeks ago, that now you have also put on the agenda aspects of the blue growth, some of the also negative effects of the emission reduction. What is it that you're going to address? I don't know exactly, but if you are also becoming a player now, I think it would be useful to hear here if you could contribute.
Are you talking about the Nordic Council session that was in Oslo? Well, at the Nordic Council session, there was a lot of discussion about management issues in fisheries, maybe focusing a lot on the pelagic complex in the Northeast Atlantic, which is fortunately not something we have to talk about here. But I think what is important is the next presidency of the Nordic Council of Ministers is Iceland. Iceland has as its major initiative next year, and it's actually running for 3 years, the bioeconomy, with a considerable focus on the blue bioeconomy. And I encourage you to visit our stand in the project village, where you can pick up material and information on this. And I also encourage you to just be in contact with the Nordic Council of Ministers if you are interested in more. Through our horizontal action work, we will also work with all the stakeholders, hopefully at this table and more, to further the work on blue growth and blue bioeconomy.
Any other questions? No, it seems not that. Yes, we have to break because we have the problem of a shuttle that is waiting for us. So just maybe let me try to maybe summarize quickly the main elements that I think we need to send to the plenary. One is, of course, apparently there is an agreement that there is a huge potential for development of maritime economy in the Baltic region, a sustainable maritime economy, but I think that the blue growth should become more a cross-cutting theme for the strategy. So there is a need for more synergy between a strategy objective and the priority areas. There is a big need of synergies between also the different regional, local, national, and the regional cooperation, whatever in the Baltic. One key issue, I think I would like to stop there, is just growth and green. We talked during all the day about the link between growth and the green. So growth and the blue growth and the sound environment are not competing objectives. I think that it's really unanimity there. Sustainability, research, and innovation related to technology development will have to be the key drivers for maritime growth and the job. So I think that we need to work more to achieving this key element in our future job. Many thanks for our panelists.